In this video, we're going to continue working in the scouting pillar in AGI Compass, and we're going to continue from where we left off as we just completed filling out the observations on our scout record, and now we're going to focus on what we can do once our scout record is completed. As you may have noticed while we were filling out the scout record in the last video, there is no save button. As soon as we add an observation, it's recorded directly to our scout record. Meaning, if we're transitioning between one or two fields and we lose our data connection, we don't lose any of the previously recorded data. We could simply open the most recent scout record and continue working. At the bottom, once we finish completing filling out our scout record, we have two presented options. One is the ability to delete that scout record from Compass. The second is to view the PDF. Let's take a look at that now. I'm just going to click the button, and I happen to have this PDF open and ready to go. Here you can see Compass presents you with the farm ID that we've auto-generated for the farm when creating it in Compass, the scout ID, the record date, who scouted it, and the farm. This can be especially handy as a retailer or agronomist if you're scouting multiple farms to know exactly which one you're looking at. Now, Compass will organize all the observations by field onto their own page. So here we're looking at field 1 and the details for that field that we'd pre-filled out in Compass on the field details page. As well, we've got the included map. To include this map to be able to pinpoint your recorded geotagged observations, please watch our video on fields and how to use the field snapshot function. Now we can see all the different observations we added, and as I'd mentioned in previous videos, if we didn't do a weather soil observation, this wouldn't be a blank space with no data. We just simply wouldn't include it because it's not pertinent to the scout record. However, we did record a weather soil observation, and you can see all the details included here, including an indicator which field it is once we scroll down and we lose the view of the map. Continuing down, you can see now, remember, we did multiple observations for insects, so there you can see all three are included. Same with our disease, and there's our product recommendation as well. Product rate, cost, total quantity required, any additional comments we may have added, as well as that legal disclaimer. Moving down, we're going to move into the field 2 observations. As I mentioned, each field is going to have its own page, making it easier for you, your agronomist, or your retailer, or if you're an agronomist or retailer, your farm, to determine exactly which field those observations apply to. Continuing down, we should now be hitting field 4, or our third field that we included in. And as you can see, all of our geo-reference points that we dropped while we were doing the scout observation show up as well. D for disease, W for a weather observation. And as we scroll down past the last field and its observations, we would then be presented with a page that shows all of our pictures and which fields they're tagged to. In this case, we didn't take any pictures to our scout record. So the next available page is going to be the Sclerotinia checklist because we did fill this out on this scout record. And of course, it lets us know that no action is required because we did get a low enough score, and exactly where the Sclerotinia checklist comes from, directly from the Alberta government website. Now, there's more actions we can do once we've completed a scout record, but to do those, I'm actually going to go to the listing. And the very top scout record is the one we just took a look at and completed. I'm going to click on the action item right here, and now you can see we're presented with a brand new page to review the scouting report, but also presented with an email log. Here we can see that it's got the scout ID number. It's already pre-populated an email address. This email address populates directly from the farm pillar and the general farm information right here. This is an extreme time saver for agronomists or retailers who are out performing scouts for their clients and want to quickly be able to send that PDF directly to their inbox. However, you can add multiple email addresses in here just by adding the semicolon and another email address. Let's send the PDF and see what shows up in someone's inbox. Compass is now sending the email to those 2 email addresses I had indicated, and because I manually typed in the second, it's not going to save it anywhere. It's just going to allow me to send it this one time. In a moment, I should receive an email with that Scout record attached, and we'll pop that open and show you exactly what that looks like. While we're waiting for that to happen, we can see here we also have the availability to view that PDF we've already reviewed. We can view the map and see those geo-referenced locations, and there's a way that you can find your way back to them. You can also edit the report. This allows you to go right back into the Scout record and continue adding observations or modify observations that you maybe previously tracked. That Scout record is now popped into my email. Let's bring that open and show you exactly what that looks like when sent to a client. Right here, you can see it's attached to the PDF. It also indicates in the body of the email which farm this Scout record applies to, as well as which fields were scouted. That PDF is identical to the Scout record we already previously viewed. And this can be a quick time saver to make sure that you get the Scout record into the hands of the people you need. I'm going to refresh my page though, because I also want to show you that it tracks the emails that have been sent and date and time stamps them. For agronomists and retailers, this can be particularly handy, as viewing right from your listing, you can tell whether this record has been emailed, and from that, who, what, when, where, and how. Let's take a quick look at the View Map function and how we can find our way back to those different observations. There's our fields that we scouted. There's our pinpointed geo-referenced observations, and clicking on one brings up the details of what we saw in there. D for disease. And if I click the trash can, it will delete the observation from the Scout record. W for weather. Let's get a little zoomed in here so we can actually click on that W. There's our weather soil observation. P for insect or pest. C for crop. And we have a second W in green that indicates weeds. Now, I did mention there is a way to find your way back to those observations, and this is going to look a little funky because this farm is in Manitoba and I'm currently sitting in Ontario. To do this, we're going to go turn on location tracking. Now, if you're using your smartphone or tablet, Compass will give you this indicator that location tracking does use your device's GPS. It may take a minute for your GPS to warm up and become accurate. Basically, what it's doing is your device's GPS is not always instant. It does have to connect to the satellite and then dial itself into its exact location. Using the location tracking feature is known to use more battery life on your devices. So are you sure you want to enable location tracking? You do have the availability to turn it off at any time. I'm going to click OK. Now, nothing really drastic has changed on our map, but if I zoom out, and we're going to have to do this quite extreme, I'm one province over here. As I start to move over, we should zoom out once more. That blue dot is my current location detected by Compass and my GPS. As I start to move with this map open on my phone, tablet, or PC, that blue dot moves with me and is a way for me to walk my way back to those observations. As a retailer or agronomist, if your grower has sent you the Scout record, that can be a great tool to go and verify exactly what they saw, or as the grower, vice versa. You want to go out and double check what your agronomist or retailer who has done this Scout for you in your Compass system, you can now walk your way back and verify. We've also included the availability for an Edit Scout Record button. As you're walking out to those pre-existing observations, maybe you notice something new. You can click right here and it takes you back to the Scout record to add anything new you observed. I'm just going to click the back button here, and that will take me back to the Scout record listing. The last feature we had available on this page was the Edit Report, which essentially drives me right back into the Scout record to continue adding, editing, or modifying observations. This video has been dedicated to just viewing what you can do after your Scout record has been created. I encourage you to watch the remaining videos in the series as we'll talk about scheduling, adding to monitors and building custom question stacks, and the administration options available to you. Thanks for watching. If you require more assistance, I encourage you to contact your AGI Compass support representative at 1-866-278-9530 and book an online training session today. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.